Hi, I'm Martin and welcome to Upgrade Your Day, the podcast. Today we are talking all things rambling. And I will be rambling. It's, actually, some of you might remember I did start off Upgrade Your Day as Ramble Happy. So in lockdown 2020, that's what I went with. I was very excited about it. I was taking people out on rambles and it just worked. It was brilliant. And then there was a few things that sort of popped up from other people that I spoke to, how the word rambling can actually have a bit of a negative connotation because people ramble is a negative thing, even though I think that's fine. People are used to me rambling. So after a few other little decisions, and when I started training to be a mindfulness teacher, I decided to go with Upgrade Your Day, which myself and my lovely friend Carleen, it just sort of like arrived one day when we were sat in a coffee shop and we're like, that's it, upgrade your day, that's all we need to do really. However small or big that moment is, that's what it's about. So rambling is it means a lot to me actually as a word, which is not how I thought I was going to start this podcast, but there you go. It's actually, let's put it into the positive box. It's not a negative connotation, it's a positive thing, even though I'm not rechanging the name of my business, but there you go. I'm walking. It's early morning and I am in Windsor and, I'm in Eton Wick now in Berkshire, and I'm having a morning walk, so I thought I'd record this podcast here today. Do you go out walking? Do you go out rambling? I just love that word, just going back to it again. There's something about it which feels a little bit old-fashioned, but kind of quite comical. Maybe it's a bit carry-on, I don't know. But it's something about it. Was there a carry-on rambling? Was there a carry-on rambling? There must have been, right? Carry on rambling. No, I mean, crikey, imagine what that must have been like. When I go out walking, I don't sort of have a set path that I follow. I don't have a certain way that I walk. It's sort of not for intention as such. It really is rambling. I'm all over the place. And if I see a field or something where I know there is a pathway, a right of way, I'm there, I'm on it. I've suddenly shot off, I think once actually. Crikey, I did the Union Canal, which is in Slough, and it goes on forever and a day. And I thought, I might do that today, see what happens. And I started walking, and as I do, I was having a little bit of a mindful walk, a little bit of meditation. I was planning my week ahead, so on and so on. Before you know it, I kind of decided I should probably turn off the canal. No idea where I was, absolutely no idea. And to kind of explain how far away I was, I called my husband to come and pick me up, and it took him 25 minutes to get to me in the car. So I don't know where I was. I just kept walking and I loved it. I kept rambling. I absolutely rambled, and it was glorious. I wonder if it's something that's, I don't know, I am from the country. I am a country boy at heart. I mean, I literally grew up in the tiniest little village in Somerset, surrounded by other little villages. And my parents, well, no, not my parents, my grandparents had a farm, a proper old school farm. And we're talking now, you know, when I was younger, we used to go up there every Saturday. So we're talking 30, 40 years ago. And I did have that kind of childhood living, working a lot of the time as well, on a farm. We did everything that you weren't meant to do. Nowadays, health and safety would probably have an absolute fit. And we had a place called Coombe, which was, well, exactly what it says really. It was two very steep banks, and in the middle there was a little stream that ran through, and we spent most of our Saturday afternoons there making tree swings, and there was this little island area where the stream went all the way around it. And as kids, it was amazing to have this little island that we we thought we had discovered. And then we started finding old, really, really old little bits of paper or crisp packets, which were just alien to us because they were obviously from the 40s, from the 30s, 40s, 50s. And it was such a wonderful thing as a kid to discover. And also just getting to know animals and nature and trees and plants. And then somewhere along the line, I kind of grew up and moved away from that, and the only thing I wanted to do was to head to the city, really. I mean, there was obviously many reasons and career choices and so on, but it was so hard to grow up in a village where I wanted to go to the cinema, but you'd have to drive for half an hour, or there was just a lot that was kind of holding me back, hence why I kind of shot off when I did. But there was something about then being in the city, and the only time that I would see sunrise would be, or maybe on a night bus stumbling home from the West End, seeing kind of delivery drivers arrive to set up for the day. And there was me on an N39 bus heading back up to Wood Green or something. And now it's gone completely back the other way. And they do say this, don't they? That life does these little circles all the time. And it's so strange that in lockdown I just discovered rambling and nature and kind of looking out for things and looking to see what's what and where's where. And I think one of the biggest positives of 2020 for me was the fact that I had a favourite tree. And I think I've talked about this before, but I had a favourite tree. I mean, it just sounds nuts, doesn't it? But from that kind of winter of 2020, following it through then to spring, and then summer, and then autumn, and then winter, to follow that progression of that, my favourite tree. And there's nothing special about it. It's just a really nice shaped tree, and it's kind of got its own little place. It's been the king of its little area. And it was just fascinating, and it really woke me up to how seasons do affect a lot of our mental health, a lot of our mood, and also a lot of our personality when you bring it into it. So that's when I think, as Ramble Happy and Upgrade Your Day, that's when things started to really change for me, and how I tried to change how I sort of went about my day, making sure that I got in a good walk and I saw other things rather than what we can get caught up with during the day, with emails and phone calls and text messages and every other way people connect with us nowadays. How I got out and just connected to my tree, to my swans that were the two same swans in Windsor Great Park, making sure they're okay. It was a real grounding process to go through, even when lockdown stopped. Just to keep that up was really important to me. And I just wonder whether you ever have done that as well. Is that something that you've ever done or want to do? Because I can't recommend it enough. I really can't. And actually, again, something I have talked about in the past, but when it comes to the way that we should live our lives with the change of the seasons and how it's kind of there for us to do that, where winter is where we really do sort of lock down and eat all the food we've gathered during the summer. It's one of those things that you just can't really do it. We can't do it nowadays. But I think even my winter, which is hectic with work, with pantomime, etc., what I really do try and do is bring as many elements of that way of thinking as I can. So, for instance, the fact that I am in panto and I'm in one place, which is a walking distance from my house, and I don't have to travel anywhere, book into any hotels. I don't have to arrange anything. It's just there. And also doing a show with other people, it's not just me and my anxiety about performing to people and having to win them over and I'm the only one on stage. There's other people there, and it's a show that we do over 80 times. So it kind of, even though I always put 120% into the show, it's not as hard to win people over as when you're doing a solo gig in Northumberland or something. Northumberland, is that such a place? I think it is. So yeah, it's very different. So in a way, I have kind of used that mentality of winter being a place to just close down a little bit, and it's something I'm looking more and more into. I'm really trying to research how to go about these things, and I think now with spring gradually coming up, there's a lovely song that I keep adding to my Instagram stories about we may be in winter but my heart's in spring. It's a girl group from the 60s or 70s, I think. It's my favourite little bit of music at the moment. It really is. And it's so true, because I think I'm ready to get into spring. I'm ready to just start putting the walking boots to one side and getting the flip-flops out. I'm trying to kind of think about, every day waking up and putting shorts on instead of jeans or tracksuit bottoms, and my coats actually going away. And that's something we always forget. We always moan about the weather in this country, We always forget that in the summer our coats pretty much do go away. We might put like a little hoodie on or something, but it's definitely nice not to have, if you're like us, about 1,000 coats hanging up at the front door. They're always falling off, they're always getting in the way. So I am looking forward to a change in the weather, and I never used to be like that, and it's all because of heading out rambling, of just getting out. And of course, another great thing is it's just great for fitness, getting your steps in. I've never been a runner. In fact, the times I have tried running, the moment I start, I just want to stop. I feel like I'm carrying a sack of spuds. It's just the most painful thing. And someone actually did say to me once, I'm quite flat-footed, and so running isn't probably the best thing for me. This is what they said, and it all kind of made sense. And we always give ourselves a hard time, don't we? Everyone else is running. People run. That's what they do to get fit. We should run. But if it's not for you, it's not for you. And it's finding a way around what else you can do. And I think that's what's really, really important. And the thing that I've learned from my mindfulness practice is to not necessarily follow the trend, but to do what suits you. Even though so many people go, you need to do this and you need to do that, and this has been amazing for me. I think we're getting better at being aware that everyone's different, everyone's individual, and everybody needs different ways to do things. So my rambling is my thing, and I absolutely love it. My favourite time of rambling is definitely first thing in the morning, when it is dark, but you're about to get a bit of light. It's about to happen. And some mornings I do get up and I think, nothing's going to happen today. But actually, to get out and see it turning from night to day is just beautiful. And even though a lot of us do see that if we're driving to work, it can just happen. I mean, I've driven to gigs and it's dark, and then suddenly, before I know it, it's light, and you haven't even really noticed it because you're concentrating on driving, etc. So when you're out walking, rambling, running, whatever it may be, it's amazing to see the sunrise. And if it's a morning where you have a perfect blue sky, where the sun is like a big ball of glowing yellow, orange, red energy just rising up, I could just laugh because I'm so happy. And that's kind of what it is. I'm just joyous. Absolutely joyous in those early mornings. And if I'm in a bad mood, if I'm full of anxiety about something, if I'm not quite dealing with something that I should be, it just changes everything. For me, personally, that's what does it. That does the trick. I absolutely adore it. And I know a lot of people have said to me in the past they're not comfortable going out in the dark. So that's why I started my Sunrise Ramble. So there's a little group of us. They can head out somewhere quite safe, because especially in the winter, it's still dark at 7 a.m. But there's always that feeling. It doesn't sort of feel very comfortable, does it? Even though people are sort of walking to the train stations and things. And in the summer, I think the last summer Sunrise Ramble I did, we went out at like 3:30 in the morning. And it does seem absolutely mad, but actually, how often do you get to just sort of do something like that, just to get up early? And I think one of the times we were treated to the most amazing sunrise that we've ever seen, and then another time it just got lighter. It just sort of got lighter, and that was that, really. Nothing else happened very much, but we were all quite proud of ourselves for getting up and getting out and getting some steps in. I think we actually did an extra long ramble. We did a good couple of hours so that we felt a little better about it, and then went and drank vanilla lattes in Costa. So that's the payoff for it. And I love doing this thing, which is in the companion book, which you can get on my website, www.upgradeyourday.co.uk. Put a little plug in. There's this book, The Companion, and I've got a lovely little sunrise meditation that I do, which I absolutely love. I'm going to share it with you now in case you've not got the book, you've never heard about it. But it can feel a bit funny, you can feel a bit silly, but you just have to get over it and just do it, because the rewards are just so much more. And also nowadays, a lot of people are in parks doing yoga or Pilates or all their sort of fitness things. So I think it's a better world for it. But what I do is I will stand facing the sun, and I will have my arms by my side, my palms will be turned facing the sun, and I'll just put my arms out a little bit so they're not directly in front of me, they're just to my side, palms facing the sun, face facing the sun, and I will just stand there for even just a really good 1 minute moment. Ideally, this is the perfect 3-minute upgrade, which again you can read about all on my website. But just for a moment, just to take a moment and have the sun on your face and your palms, and you can feel the heat from the sun, you can feel the energy, and it's like you're being powered up. It's like you are a battery and you are being powered up by the sun. For whatever reason you may need that, it just works a treat. It's the most loveliest feeling, and especially as a meditation as well, if you feel like you need that warmth, that energy, that light, it's just glorious. And you can do it anytime. I mean, even if you can't see the sun, you can just stand somewhere and just look to the sky and it does the same thing. But when you've got that glorious sunshine where the sun is just beaming, it is absolutely glorious. So I highly recommend that as a little meditation. Facing the sun, tilt your head back slightly, arms out, palms facing the sun, and just stand there and let the sun generate all that energy for you, all that good positivity. It's a really nice thing to do. I do still need to do my little bit of research with regards to wildlife, because that's something that I notice more and more. I can't tell one bird from another. It's just something I've just never got my head around when people go, oh, that's a thingy and that's a thingy. So this year, if you follow my podcast, you'll know that I really want to learn more about the moon, and I want to learn more about essential oils and about crystals. Those are the 3 things that I'm really passionate about this year. But I might throw in a 4th and learn about wildlife, because birds I think would be a nice thing to get my head around. And also, obviously here in Windsor we have a lot of swans, we have Egyptian geese, which I can now tell that's what they are. But then from that, it kind of goes a little bit flaky. I'm not really quite sure what happens after that. These little birds pop up and float around. I'm not quite sure what they are. So that's something I'm going to have a little bit more of a study at this year. I think it would be nice to work out what they are. And it's just so lovely sometimes to see these beautiful, beautiful creatures on the river, and to watch them as the seasons change as well, and how they change, and when they have their little babies and you just see them swimming around like a little family. It's the most beautiful thing. And when you see the same ones, sometimes it can be sad because one might go missing and so on, because that's nature, right? That's something you just have to get your head around. But it is lovely to watch these little families get created and enjoy the rest of the seasons. Something I definitely love. I remember once when I got given a canoe, and I was like, oh, that's nice. I'll go off, here and there, but I should probably get a lesson in first. So I went to the local people here, the kayak company, just to get a little lesson to work out what to do. And he did say to me, are you used to canoeing, kayaking? And I was like, no, never. I said, I'm always out first thing in the morning, and I'm always rambling, and I'm just watching nature come to life. I adore it. So for me to have a little canoe and go down the river of a morning, and he's like, well, let me tell you, you won't be just watching nature come to life. You will be nature. You will be within it. And I was like, you're sold, give me everything. Wetsuits, the works, I'm in, that's it. I'm gonna be a kayaker, done. And then I think I took my kayak out about twice, and then I was like, oh, it's such hard work. Oh, crikey. I think sometimes I get a little bit scared with the river. You're never quite sure if it's fast flowing, slow flowing. I mean, you can see it, but you're never quite sure how it's going to change, and it just panics me a little bit. So on a lovely sunny day when there's lots of people on the Thames, especially in Windsor, then I'm out on my kayak. Other times, especially first thing in the morning, there's something about it I'm not quite sure. So maybe this year's the time to start a sunrise kayaking rambling group of some sort. I don't know, something like that. But it did make me chuckle, and he was absolutely right. He was so right, because rather than walking on the river and seeing all these beautiful swans out and about, you are in it. You're in the river. You're in with the swans. It's so stunning. So that's something that should be my 6th thing I try and do this year, that's for sure. I think my new love as well of rambling and being in nature is definitely what led me to train with regards to woodland meditation, forest bathing. There's something about walking and looking at nature, but also being within it, like in a kayak on the river. I actually love to just sort of like nestle down somewhere in amongst the trees. Very lucky here that we have a lot of places you can just sit at the base of a tree and just take a breath and just listen to the wind, the noise, whether it's rain, and things do come to you. You'd be surprised. Little squirrels and things and things like that. They come to you and you're still and you're sat there. And you also realise how quickly life moves around you. You know, all these trees and bushes and plants and grass and greenery, it's just sat there. It's just got this beautiful stillness, this beautiful presence. It's just doing its thing slowly, gradually, and it's a great way to just calm the mind, to sit with that and be part of that as well, rather than like we are sometimes where we're just frantic, absolutely frantic, going from one app to the next, just chaos. It's lovely to just sit just for a moment, and that's what I love doing when I teach my woodland meditations. And hugging trees, I mean, hug a tree, come on, it's so funny. Again, it's something that we all feel so awkward about, and it's very childlike, but how wonderful to be like a child, how wonderful to just have those eyes of seeing something or feeling something for the first time. And hugging a tree, whenever I've done it on my courses, people always laugh, and that's the whole point. You know, I am a giggler. We're not gonna brush over it. It can all feel a bit silly and it can all look a bit silly, but when people do it, they go, oh, actually I really, really enjoyed that. It felt really nice. And interesting, the last group that I did teach, they hugged those trees longer than I thought they would. I was actually like, right, shall we, oh no, okay, yeah, carry on, that's fine. No, does it normally, I'll just hover here for a moment and yeah. Right, so next we're gonna, oh no, you're still hugging the tree. Okay, that's fine. Well, that's fine. Yeah, in your own time, no rush. That's the whole point. So we, so what we're gonna do now is oh no, you're just still hugging. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Yeah. Are they asleep? Have they gone to sleep? No, they're just still hugging. Are they hugging? Yeah. Are they sleeping? Have they all just switched off? I don't blame them. I'm still rambling on. I don't blame them at all. Oh no, she's just moved ahead. That's right. Oh, he's just moved. Oh no, they're just doing more hugging. Okay, they're hugging. More hugging. That's fine. Okay. So we should really now. No. We'll just keep hugging the tree. That's fine. It's all good. All good. I'm not even joking you. That's how it went. It was hilarious. But it just went to show that when people are allowed or given permission to do things like that, and everyone else is doing it, everyone's doing it and everyone's enjoying it, it was something really special. So that's another tip I'd like to give out today. If you can, and you are in an area where you are walking and you're surrounded by trees, just go and give it a hug. Give it some respect. Just been there for a long time, just doing its thing, still, peaceful, has so much respect. The things it's seen, I mean, especially in Windsor Great Park, in the shadow of Windsor Castle, just imagine what that tree over all the years has seen and been part of. And there's something lovely about giving a tree a hug and looking up and just taking a moment. And I know some of you be listening to this going, oh, crikey. But you know what? Judge all you want until you give it a go. Just give it a go. If anything today, that is your aim, to hug a tree. Come on, just do it. It is really lovely. Or come and do one of my woodland meditation sessions and then we'll all do it together and we'll be fine. I should probably just mention as well that my Spring Ramble is now on sale. So we are promoting, what are we now? We're mid-February 2023. And the Spring Ramble is in May. So if you want to come along, we literally do a lovely big 2-hour ramble around Windsor and Eton. And we do put in a little 5-minute meditation. Now, if you don't want to do it, absolutely fine. You can just sort of hover and look at the river, and if you do want to do it, we just find a little place to sit and we just spend 5 to 10 minutes just doing a little nature meditation, and then we carry on with our ramble. We finish at a coffee shop, next to a pub, whatever your thing is. It's always lovely to do as a little social event, and that is now booking in. Oh, we've got a fly pass. See, I need to know what these birds are. They're so beautiful. That was a couple of swans, there was 2 Egyptian geese, and then a couple others, not quite sure what they were, but it was absolutely gorgeous. They were having a right fly around because it suddenly got very windy. Woo! Oh my gosh. And that's the other thing, isn't it, when you're rambling, weather can change in an instant, in a flash. So always make sure you are well wrapped up and prepared for whatever that may be. I'm just now walking towards Windsor Castle, back onto the Brocas in Eton, which is a very popular area of dog walkers and picnickers in the summer, and also when they're allowed, all the boats can moor up and enjoy the sights of Windsor and Eton. So at the moment it's very quiet. There's not many, I don't think boats are allowed here at the moment for whatever reason that may be. I guess, I don't know, spring, it must be nesting now. See, I kind of know a little bit about what I'm talking about, just a little bit, but that must be something to do with it. But it is yeah. I'm recording a Oh, thank you. All right, thank you, darling. Bye. Have a nice day. Oh, bless her. She listens to my podcast. She got very excited. See, I'm actually walking. The recording mechanism that I have when I'm out and about is a bit like a large phone, and I've got a big, what do you call them? A big fluffy thing on it because of the wind. And then I've got headphones in. So I do look a little bit like a news reporter, to be honest. I think she wondered what I was doing, then she recognised me. Bless her. When I'm at home, I've got the big mic and everything. But when I'm out and about, this is just perfect for getting rid of the wind, because it is very windy today. I don't know if it's going to sound like it, but it is very, very windy today. So anyway, just to wrap up this little mini podcast today about rambling, if I can encourage anyone or inspire anyone just to get out and do a 10-minute walk. I'm going to say walk, 10-minute walk, because the ramble, some people might feel is a bit of a, where am I going to head off? How am I going to get lost? I don't know what's going to happen. But whatever it is you do, a walk or a ramble, but just to get out and look around, look up, look down, look around you, stop, sit down, hug a tree, and just get a little bit connected to nature. And I'm so aware that, we're not all perfect. We all make mistakes or do things. I have people say to me all the time, oh, I'm surprised you're doing that or saying that. Aren't you a mindfulness teacher? And it's like, yes, but I also make mistakes. I also get things wrong. I also don't listen to my own advice. Like, we're all the same. We all have these moments. We can't be just wonderful human beings all the time, and sometimes I do get wrapped up in emails and messaging, especially nowadays that people can message you on WhatsApp and on Telegram and on Facebook Messenger and email, and you're thinking, someone contacted me and I need that name or whatever they gave me, the information was, where do I look? And I am going through all these different options. It's crazy. It is really crazy nowadays. So the more we can just take a step out of that, even if you love that world, even if you love technology and being busy and being chaotic and being crazy, there is nothing wrong sometimes in just trying to step out of it and just take a breath. We might surprise ourselves. And I know last week I was really, really busy, and suddenly got to the end of the week when I just wanted to stop, and I realised I had so much else to do, and I actually did something which I don't often do, but I was like, no, I can't do it. I can't do everything. It's not possible. I've got to be kind to myself. I need to give myself a break. These things will have to wait till Monday. I'll probably have a few people to answer to. I'll probably have a few people a bit annoyed, but it's not like anybody's due money from me and they need it for the weekend. There's nothing like that, because I like to think I wouldn't mess people around like that, but it was a case of it's all going to wait, because I just need a weekend of relaxing and heading into nature. This weekend might be completely different. Like I say, we're not all perfect, who knows? But anyway, whatever you can do, give it a go. Hug a tree. And you know what? If you want to send me photos, if you listen to this podcast and you thought, he's got a good point, you know what? I'm going to give it a go. Send me a picture. Take a little picture. Obviously, as I've just said, be careful. Enjoy the moment as much as you can, and then take a picture. Because that's the other thing. People say, oh, leave your phones at home. Well, to me, that'd give me more anxiety if I left my phone at home. It just wouldn't work with me. Just not going to work. Not going to lie. Not going to work. But do the things, enjoy the moments, and then turn your airplane mode off. Take a little picture, whatever it is. Although I think you can take photos with airplane mode on, can't you? Yeah, you can. I think I've done that before. Whatever you need to do, just take that moment. We love taking photos. We're all photographers nowadays. Just do it, enjoy it, but make sure you have that moment beforehand of just embracing, hugging that tree. And send me a picture, because I'd love to see them. And I hope you've really enjoyed listening to this little podcast. And I will just remind you that the Sunrise Ramble is in March, and the Spring Ramble is in May, and you can book tickets on upgradeyourday.co.uk. If you have any questions, message me at Martin, MARTIN, at upgradeyourday.co.uk. Everything's on the website, it's all there. And also, actually, a very exciting announcement today. As I say, we're mid-February 2023 if you're listening to this at this point. I am now booking my 8-week mindfulness and self-compassion course for April. It's already half full, which is amazing. So if you want to come along to that, details are on the website. But I'm also running it online, because I've had a few people say they'd love to take part, but they're not local to Windsor. So if you want to do the online 8-week mindfulness and self-compassion course, that starts the same time in April. I think that starts on the 17th of April, and the in-person one is the 18th of April. So if you want to do it, we're doing it over Zoom for 8 weeks, 2 hours a week. Then you can sign up now on the website at upgradeyourday.co.uk. Well, listen, thank you so much for listening, and I'll be back with a guest next week. But until then, go out, put your phone on airplane mode, hug a tree, take a photo, and I'm trying to think of that saying. What is it? Bob's your uncle. That's what I'm thinking. Bob's your uncle, or Robert's your brother's. What's the people say? I always try and remember it. Do you know where I'm going with this? Do you know where I'm going? Am I rambling? Am I actually now rambling? It's not Bob's your uncle, Robert's your dad's brother. So I said that to me once, and before you know it, Robert's your dad's brother. And I was like, what? What does that even mean? It took me a long time to work that out. So there you go. I'm going to finish rambling now. Have a great day, everyone. Enjoy.